What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and since so many people have requested it and since the item has finally been patched, here are my thoughts on the new Ardent Censer. Let's get started. Now, the thing about Ardent Censer is that based on the stats it gives alone, it can be incredibly useful or completely useless. So it gives you 30 AP, 10 mana per 5, 10% CDR, and 8% movement speed. Ignoring the passive, this puts the item at a below average 93% gold efficiency, which is not too great. But the passive attack speed buff is worth 750 gold per person that it's on, which is a pretty solid amount, more than enough to make up for the lack of gold efficiency. And add into that it has a nice build path with cheap parts that allows you to slowly build up the item over time, and a measly 2200 overall total gold cost, and the item is looking pretty good, maybe even overpowered. But the thing about Ardent Censer is that there is a very high possibility that the stats will not be that good. AP is not an ideal stat for supports. While mana and CDR are nice, but they aren't the main things you want to itemize for. Usually you're going to want to invest into some tankiness to help you survive fights and be more useful. There's no question that the movement speed is also solid, but again, is it something that you really want to itemize for? But attack speed as well is a weird stat to give to your team, as many champions cannot really make use of attack speed. AP carries as well as tanks don't really benefit from attack speed, and while many champions do benefit from attack speed, you might not always have those champions in your team composition that can benefit from such a stat. And why would building Ardent Censer be better than say an item like Zeke's Herald, that gives a permanent aura that is not hindered by having to shield or heal, and it doesn't run out after 6 seconds, and on top of that gives health, which is an incredibly important stat for supports, as well as 20% CDR, which is way better than 10%. And an aura worth 1270 gold per person in the AD and lifesteal, while giving that important stat of lifesteal that's so hard to get due to the item changes to AD carries on this patch. Well, in reality, it's because attack speed scales multiplicatively with other AD items. The value of attack speed increases exponentially with other AD items, so that by the time you get Ardent Censer, any champions on your team that can benefit from it have already built up at least 1 or 2 AD items. And yes, lifesteal from Zeke's Herald will scale multiplicatively as well, but having to invest that 2500 gold on Zeke's just to get your team some lifesteal isn't always going to be the most optimal choice, as well as the AD doesn't scale that well. But due to the lack of tankiness, I would only buy Ardent Censer on utility supports that can easily shield or heal their teammates. Champions like Karma and Janna are great to buy Ardent Censer on, while I would avoid it on champions like Alistar, who despite having an AoE heal to maximize the passive, really needs to get tankiness in his items if he wants to survive for more than one EQ combo in fights. And so on those kind of tanky champions, I would prefer to build Zeke's instead if I'm trying to itemize for a stat to help my AD carry. And as well, Ardent Censer, I would only ever pick it up if my team has at least 2 or 3 or more champions that can benefit from that attack speed. And definitely don't clock out Zeke's Herald. Not that many people built it before, but it's much stronger now on this patch since lifesteal is a lot more difficult to get. So potentially consider that as an option instead of making your AD carry build a suboptimal lifesteal item. My name is Jeremy, and that's it for my video on the new Ardent Censer. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others on the screen right now, or stay connected at facebook.com/gamingcurios. And I stream with some awesome commentary too over at twitch.tv/Jeremy_gamingcurios, so be sure to check that out too. Drop a like and make sure to subscribe for some more awesome content in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.